This way.
You never know like this. Okay, coach.
Where?
What's up? This is me.
One.
What happened yesterday? Going where? I didn't know. I didn't hear it.
I never did. Never did the commissions.
When I never match is on. Sure. When I match hello, it's safe. Hello. Yeah, so someone I was only Jamro.
Hello? Yes, Mr.
You will Ishi. Unacheza leo. Are you playing today?
Yeah.
To the who?
Bulawayo. Bulawa. The real sniper. Yeah, yeah,
A very good evening, dear viewers. Welcome back to my channel, Bob McGrill, in Nairobi for yet another day of action. It is post-Easter weekend. It is a chilly Tuesday on the 7th of April 2026. Once again, we are at the Great Michana Pool Club, one of the fondest pool playing avenues on the entire African continent. Today we are having rematch of action between Jeremiah NAIDOO all the way from South Africa and ESHCA CHIMBWANDA all the way from Zimbabwe. Now, this is the history of this competition. About 3 weeks ago, when the tour of Ugandans and Zimbabweans and the Zambian and of course Kenyans themselves, Tanzanians, as well as a Malawian did have an influx into Kenya. ESHCA did not want to miss out on this. He decided to invite any player on the African continent who was able to play with him, but for him, not simply to play to converge in one country for action. His intention was to have home and away action, racing to 21 for $3,000 for anyone that was willing to travel to Harare at the Escalators Pool Arena. ESHCA was as well willing to travel to any home of their choice. The first person to respond to the call was Jeremiah NAIDOO, and that was just after he got snatched up and signed by Big Kells, his new management team. The two faced off in Harare. The match was won bigly by Jerry in a race to 21 for 3,000 US dollars. That match ended 21 frames to 9. It was such a demolition. Of course, ESHCA has to respect the fact that it was supposed to be home and away action. As for Jerry, his choice of home team is Mchana Pub and Grill in Nairobi. Today, we're having part 2 between ESHCA and Jerry, most especially after Jerry won part 1 and won it very convincingly. It is 2 frames that have been played so far. Both have been won by the home player. That is Jerry. They are racing to 21 for 3,000 US dollars. And yes, any other African player that may want to be a part of this is welcome. ESHCA is open for business as long as you are willing to travel to Harare. He will as well be willing to travel to your venue, and is being gentleman enough, even after losing the first leg with such a big score. He's still giving Jerry a match and he could be winning the first out of 3. Now wanting to put black to the side pocket on the right in what will be the Zimbabwean's first frame being won in the match. It is Jerry 2 and ESHCA 1. And once again, we're having live stream of this action on 3 platforms, 2 YouTube streaming platforms, that is Peter Chebe Live YouTube, as well as Mchana Pool Club. The Facebook stream of this match and another YouTube stream is on Q Pixels Photography, Facebook and YouTube respectively. 2-1. Jerry is in the lead, and action is coming your way live from Nairobi, with the audio being presented to you by myself, Simon Peter Chebe, live at Mchana Pub and Grill in Nairobi. It's going to be about 2 hours and 45 minutes. That is, I believe, the amount of time we shall need to have this action done to conclusion. Jerry 2, ESHCA 1, race to 21.
Yes, I'm here. If it was Chinese,
My special thanks to the management teams of both of these players. As for Jerry, he's a member of Team Big Kells. Just about 4 days, the amount of time for which he has been resident here in Kenya. He has participated in 2 events, that is a singles competition that was won by the Ugandan Ian. Jerry was defeated in the second round in a race to 9 by the Ugandan youngster Jackson Asiku. He did better when his team Big Kells reached the final of the team event, the Chairman's Easter Cup. They lost out to the Knights team of Mchana. And in another way, a very special thank you to ESHCA's management, Neves and Select, He's one of the most well-managed players on the African continent. That one I can tell you for certain. And ESHCA is the winner of the biggest competition that has ever been held on the African continent, at least in terms of cash prize for the winner. $11,600, the amount he got after winning the Timbuktu International Championship in Eldoret in this country. As Jerry Banks, the penultimate red, he has work to do. Maybe cut the red onto the right, put it to the corner pocket, top left. Tricky, foul. It could go in. Very fortunate for him, a little unfortunate for ESHCA. That won't matter for Jerry. He will be having chance to play black potted to the corner pocket, top left. Even though he opts for the top right, it has to be maximum cut in black, and white is in, and the frame is lost by the South African, amidst laughing from fellow players at how good the guy can pot, how unlucky he has been in the frame. Jerry 2, ESHCA 2, race to 21 for $3,000 US.
Where is the now?
Just when you're playing with someone else. Very quick, man. Less than a minute.
We have had our third frame being played at the current speed. Maybe my estimated 2 hours and 45 minutes of action in this match could be a little too much. There is expected to be one more arrival, but the departures have already started. Of course, the pride of Africa in terms of pool players will not be in Nairobi forever. Departures have already started today. The first lady to join the tour, Julie from Uganda, is now already on the bus back to Kampala. She played 7 matches against some of the best Kenyan female players, winning 7. And she's leaving another Ugandan called Michelle on the tour. She has played 1 match and has won it. The Ugandan youngster Herbert Mokisa is exiting tomorrow morning, such that the following day he will be in time to catch up with his school program. ESHCA will be leaving tomorrow. His duty here has been won. He kept himself out of the singles tournament, kept himself out of the team, even out of any practice sessions against any other player. He came to mean business here. He came to pay revenge against Jerry. That is all he came to do. His air ticket is already booked. He's going to be boarding the Kenya Airways flight back to Harare tomorrow. in the afternoon, and the expectation is that both Aiden and Caesar want to follow him there. This, I can tell you, he's a much better player than what you guys saw in the first race against Jerry, because while Jerry may be a more renowned shooter, but 21-9 is a little bit deceptive. ESHCA showed me evidence. I did ask him, because he's my friend, that how comes you played like Francis when the two, you and Jerry, faced off in the first match. Then he said, I had to respect Jerry because he gave me a match. He had traveled from Durban to come and play with me. But I can tell you, Peter, I was not feeling fine whatsoever. And he showed me medical evidence. But today, he's starting much sharper, much better, much brighter, and is very willing to punish Jerry for any frames missed, and can take down frames of his own as well. Like you have just seen in frame number 3, that has been ESHCA's equalizer. It is ESHCA CHIMBWANDA 3 and Jeremiah NAIDOO 3, race to 21. Here comes the South African, who was broken dry. The Zimbabwean will want to take advantage. If somehow ESHCA can take down this ongoing frame, it will be him taking the lead for the very first time in the match. Nowadays, a much renowned player than he was about 3 years ago. And the time I've ever been closest to him was when him and his then international and management teammate Malvan Makonza did make a tour of Uganda, where they were for about 3 weeks, playing in Ugandan weekly comps and playing many matches against some of Uganda's best players. He had matches against Ibrahim Kayanja, had a match against Yuda Simbusi. He had a match against Caesar Chandiga. He won against Yuda. He lost against Caesar. He also reached the final of a 64-man competition that was held in Kampala at the venue that is called the UN Pool Arena. He came second to the then winner, Ibrahim Sejemba. Relatively a successful tour, and I want to think that commendable performance did not leave him the same. He was already a very good player, but it got him the international exposure that saw him the following year win the biggest achievement of his life when he took down Stanford Gente in the final of the Timbuktu International Carnival, coming home with $11,600 as he misses the penultimate red on the table. And it is that money that makes him a very proud director of the Escalating Pool Arena, a very beautiful venue that I'm happy to have visited in Harare, right in the heart of the city, the central business district itself. 9 for the first time as a boss, having employees, courtesy of winning that competition that was organized right.
I was betting 100%. He's saying this.
For those that are watching from Q Pixels Photography as well as Peter Chewe Live for the last few seconds. Please accept my apologies for that broken network, but now we are good to go. What I promise that every time it happens, I'll be trying my best. All I do is switch between gadgets, switch between network providers, switch between either normal data or Wi-Fi hotspots. And normally when that happens, one or either way gets us sorted. 4 frames to 3, Jerry is in the lead. The last 2 money matches that have had ESHCA participation included defeat to Jerry in the first round of this action in Harare, then victory against Kelvin in Harare. He's the guy that fixed Zimbabwe when Kelvin toured the country about 1 month and a few weeks back, playing money matches against Bakanat Malova, ESHCA himself. Blessings, I remember, turned down. Only one person was able to beat Kelvin, and that was this guy, ESHCA. And it wasn't the first time that he was defeating Kelvin. What can Jerry do about this miss by ESHCA? Maybe ESHCA is starting to lose his pattern. That could be very critical. When taking on a shooter as good as Jerry, you have to utilize all your opportunities. If you don't, he will. And the frames he wins, he makes very light work of them. I have no doubt he's Africa's potting machine. Nobody I know in the African continent has better ability to pot a ball, and nobody plays at speed that he does. In fact, he has the record for the fastest frame ever been won in African competition. 33 seconds. He broke and finished against Caesar in the ATA Africa 16-man competition in 2024. That was won by Kelvin. He did that against Caesar in the round of last 8. He's on the verge of playing the last yellow on the pool table. Wanting to put it on black to the same corner pocket bottom right cue ball will be very tricky. That is very good English on the cue ball. Not easy shooting this, especially given the spin on the cue ball that moved it against the cushions, and just in place for him to pot black to the corner pocket where he potted the yellow. The South African now grabs a 2-frame lead. It is Jerry 5, ESHCA 3, race to 21 for $3,000 US. You are watching an international money match that is being organized as a rematch of action between Downing Red, ESHCA CHIMBWANDA of Zimbabwe, and Downing Light Green, Jeremiah NAIDOO from South Africa. Here comes ESHCA, originally from Harare in Zimbabwe, the town of Mbare. That is really a success story for a guy like this one. Mbare is so known for those road guys, but here comes one of them. Places like such are normally the places where the best talent comes from. For most of the countries, not just pool, sports like boxing, even other talents like music, they come from the ghetto. and he did take me a tour to a tour of Mbare last time out that I visited Harare. And then he said, whatever you hear about our town is not entirely true, because it was way deep in the night and we were just walking and driving through the neighborhood and we are all safe. He could be having a chance of winning a frame against the guy Jerry that is born in Durban in South Africa. He's the best pool player that comes from the city of Durban, and it is where he has some of his fondest results. Jerry, most especially the last time there was a 4-man comp that had himself, Jerry, Kelvin, Caesar, and Aiden, with Jerry defeating Caesar in the round of last 4, then defeating Aiden in the round of last 2 in Durban earlier this year at Hot Shots, winning the 80,000 runs. He has since then played, if I'm not mistaken, about 4 money matches against Aiden, winning 3 and losing 1. And once again, Mr. Aiden Joseph, I know that you are watching this. What are you doing in Gauteng? See what is happening in Nairobi. In Nairobi, where ESHCA is playing, the penultimate yellow has to get it on target, has to get the cue ball on target with a beautiful backspin. Another apple, a red one this time, as red as ESHCA is dressing. He may want to put both yellow and black to the same side pocket on the right, depending on how good he'll be playing the cue ball. With top spin, off to cushions, round the red. A little bit too much power, but he will seemingly be fine. Black is still portable, but with a relative big cut. The cue ball may be played into the red near the corner pocket and the right, but as long as he's on target, he will be okay. It actually makes him safe, because if he plays the cue ball into the red, it supports the stopping of the cue ball. Black is sunk, white is safe. ESHCA 4, Jerry 5, race to 21 for 3,000 US dollars. There is discussion between Saif Hamad and Hazard Dokoma. By the way, just in case you may not have known, Hazard is now resident in Kenya. He wants to have a little bit of this action. He's been away from home for about a month. He's been having a tour of Nigeria, a successful one it was. And from Nigeria, he flew to Nairobi rather than Entebbe in Uganda. He was not able to participate in the team. Wasn't on time as well to participate in the singles. But many matches, if a player performs well in them, can come to. Nowadays, it is not largely contestable when someone calls him Zimbabwe's finest. And with all due respect to my young brother Malvan Mukonza, ESHCA has been outplaying him and outmatching him, despite Malva being the last winner of the National Elite Players Association of Zimbabwe tournaments, NAPAs. ESHCA dominated them 2 years ago. Then last year, he became a little bit of a boost, winning almost each and everything that there was to win in Zimbabwe, including a tournament that I streamed in Mashingo, where he beat Maluva in the semi-finals. But the Timbuktu International Championship victory is the one that stands out tallest, the one that makes other Zim players a little bit of boys compared to his being a man, and is proving so with a beautiful pattern, which needs now a big shot. Pot yellow to the corner pocket, top right, draw the cue ball backwards the whole distance of the table, bottomwards. It has to be perfect. It may be. ESHCA just lacked a little bit of power can only play black off the cushion. There's a possibility of potting, but you may as well play the cue ball into the red off the cushion. Black is not potted, and highly likely the spot sometimes is not very kind. After that very narrow miss, the frame is on the verge of instead being won by Jerry, who has the work of now putting 3 reds. 1, the pocket where there is the black, he avoids the black with purpose, moves the cue ball entirely rightwards. He will want to put with stop effect on the cue ball, just like that. The rest is a formality.
I was waiting for that part.
Jerry 6 and ESHCA 4. Here comes Africa's putting machine, dear viewers. Every time he has a turn on table, he has one thing in the mind: finishing the frame. He's not thinking of anything any different, and he's not doing anything any different, wanting to put black by power. Yet again, Jerry wins with a single visit of the table. 7 for the South African and 4 for the Zim race to 21 for 3,000 US dollars. It is so far 1 full quarter that has been done, plus perhaps 1 more frame. The score is 7 frames to 4. The South African is in the lead. He's starting to run away with this. You don't want his lead to grow bigger, most especially if you are a fan of ESHCA. If you are watching from Zimbabwe, you don't want to grow to his lead bigger if you are ESHCA himself. Once again, there is expectation of 1 more arrival from Bolton to Nairobi, expected this coming Friday, perhaps before. That is a certain Mr. Caesar Chandiga, and he will want action with Jerry or to whom it may concern, and is a very popular figure here, most especially with the Mchana fraternity. There is as well talk of maybe another 60-man comp, maybe not. The expectation is that by the end of this week, these players, those that are non-Kenyan, will be traveling home. I'm personally finding it a little bit strange having come to Kenya. It will be 4 weeks tomorrow. I came contemplating to be here for 5 days or a maximum of 7. It's coming to 4 weeks, and I don't know how much more. It is all fun. Sometimes it can really mean to be tiring, but when it is passion driven, even the fatigue is fun itself. Here comes ESHCA. The yellow near the side pocket on the right is what will be some kind of problem ball. How good the cue ball be of the top cushion? That is perfection at its very best. He's demonstrating that what Jerry can do, ESHCA can do as well, just that Jerry does it with a little bit more consistency. Another frame, another apple by the Zimbabwean ESHCA versus the black to record the 5th out of 12. And yes, he does. ESHCA 5, Jerry 7, race to 21. The entire members of the Cube Masters crew and the Tanzanian delegation are all at the venue watching and enjoying. A few members of the Ugandan team, Sula and Eric, at the venue. Many members, of course, not surprisingly, of the Kenyan fraternity, Moses Kimani, Kevin Yegon, and also Jerry's boss, Big Kells, watching the action right at the venue. He does expect nothing short of victory, most especially Jerry having won away from home. And what could be home away from home, nothing short of victory from his management is expected. Of course, original home, native home, is Omlazi, near Durban in South Africa. But now, professionally speaking, the choice of home venue for this match by his management is Chana Pub and Grill in Nairobi. And this tour, dear viewers, will be the very last tour at Mchana in its current form. Thereafter, the venue is going to be demolished and revamped and expanded, and when it is reopened, it will be made even bigger. When the international African community is re-invited, it will be bigger and better. For now, a 13th frame has been played and has been won by Jerry. 8 frames to 5 he leads in a race to 13 for $3,000 US. 8 frames to 5. ESHCA is down, playing for a 6. Something is doing right, though he's down. Is just to go for the game. When you play a guy like Jerry, who is a better potter, there is no doubt about that. You just play your game, because ESHCA is as well capable, perhaps more than capable, of winning a good frame, can also win a bad frame. Don't just play a lot of safeties, because they can always haunt you. Some of the time when he was playing his first game, that could have been the reason why the scores were so low. I remember 15-5 at one point. When you're at home, that is a little not accepted. Perhaps not acceptable. And special thanks to boss Nevson, we call him, for believing in this boy, having him tour. Even when other guys play, waiting for his turn, meaning business, doing exactly what brought him, and thereafter head back to Mbare. And he will be counting on the fact that maybe Kenya is his lucky country. This is the land where he won the 11,600 US dollars, which is the biggest achievement of his career, courtesy of winning the Timbuktu International Championship in Eldoret, which is just about maybe 400 kilometers west of Nairobi. It's actually on the road to Uganda. After that miss by ESHCA, here comes Jerry. Every time he's on table, it's just one thing in his mind: win the frame with what will be his ongoing business of the table. And when he's playing, it is entertainment. And look at this. His intention was maybe to play the cue ball into ESHCA's yellow. Sometimes one day the management will arrest him for hitting so balls so bad if he ever breaks a ball. I am kidding. Now wanting to put with backspin, draw the cue ball into a position where I can play at least one of the reds by read drive to the corner pocket top left. And what he does, making it better than as he plays the cue ball into the black. Black is in space. What he needs now is to put the three reds and then take down the frame perhaps. But there is a problem. Red, the one that is close to the cushion at the bottom right end of the table. He may want to play the cue ball now into that red. Something that could split up that red. Anything will do. And with power. Cue ball off to cushions. 1, 2 cushions. He lacked direction. He may go for bank off the left cushion into the corner pocket bottom left where he's playing from now. It could go in. It's in. You are looking at one of the best clearances of the match, even for a player as good as Jerry. This one was special. Power. Black. Frame is one. Another by Jerry from the wonderful collection of finishes that always come when Africa's potting machine gets to play. Jeremiah NAIDOO. 9, ESHCA CHIMBWANDA 5. Special thanks to all of you that are watching from the three streams where this match is happening officially: Q Pixels Photography, Facebook, Peter Chewe Live YouTube, and of course the home stream that is Mchana Polo Club YouTube. Thank you for watching, thank you for viewing, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for keeping the spirit of African pole alive. Many matches are not about to end. I have to admit, I do expect that by the end of this week, the men shall already have been separated from the boys. Maybe nobody will be willing to play against any other anymore. Maybe some guys will be will be done with what they came with as budgets. Some guys will be fearing to rematch. Some guys will be homesick. Unless chairman, as he normally does something, because yes, he normally likes to surprise us in a very good way. I want to believe that a Super 16-man comp is not completely out of order, most especially that we have players from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Malawi, South Africa, Tanzania, and a little bit of South Sudan. Now, the South African, one of two, has work to do here. Port Red, of course, the center pocket on the left. Cue ball may have to be played towards the top right end of the table, and its movement here will be blocked by ESHCA's yellow close to the red. Putting it with any kind of ease is not unrealistic. Jerry is in trouble, at least in the ongoing frame. In terms of scores, he has won double the number of frames that his opponent has, 10-5. It is, however, not an insurmountable lead. Look at the movement of the cue ball. Also look at ESHCA's yellow close. This one could be big. Plays the cue ball into the yellow, almost got it in, and gets himself snookered. For once, it will go down as bad pattern play of the cushion, and another into the red. He just played it with power, hoping for hope, hoping for luck. Now he doesn't pot. Now the chance goes to ESHCA. Here comes the pride of Harare. It's not easy subjecting himself to what he is. I really have to give credit to Nepson for this initiative. Some of these initiatives can start small. You never know where they may go. Look at the initiative that was by Ishmael, playing 2 money matches with Gente 1 month and maybe 2 weeks ago. Then inviting any other who may want to come to the party with Ibra and Dog City, taking the invitation. Then Yahya, then Ian, then the Tanzanians, then Kasozi, then ESHCA, then Jerry, then Hazard, then now Caesar. I don't know where this is all heading. A tour that has already had some good successes, like this ongoing match, is a success for the fact that Africa is united in some kind of way. Jerry, being Durban born in South Africa but hosting his match in Kenya, Nigerian managed, taking on a player from Zimbabwe, and those 4 countries all being united on the pool table, aren't they? The other success story is Ian Kasbe winning an international competition for the very first time in the singles yesterday. Another success story, the Michana Knights as a team winning their first ever international team event yesterday when they beat Big Kells in the team event final. I want to believe that even now they are still celebrating. In fact, they are showing off. The trophy is right. Jerry has the ability to pot a ball even with this kind of difficulty, and look at how easy he's making the pot. You are watching Africa's potting machine doing exactly what he does best. One time this guy is going to break a black ball. How did that ball disappear? Someone measure the amount of power on that black. Jerry 12, ESHCA 5. I don't know whether that power on the black was necessary. Maybe just for the entertainment. 12, 5, race to 21. ESHCA is trying his best to put up a fight. So far, his best has just not been good enough. There are a few times where he has played well enough. Sometimes a few misses, sometimes breaking dry. Sometimes Jerry has made himself unplayable. And at this speed, I cannot say exactly whether we shall need the 2 hours and 45 minutes that I guess will be the amount of time that we shall need to have this match played to completion. Try and win this from ESHCA. Don't let Jerry's lead grow from here. Even the current lead of Jerry is a little too dangerous for ESHCA. A 7-frame lead is something Jerry has more than something that Jerry is more than able to protect, to cling to try and take victory home. Here we are. He could play the cue ball into the black or yellow close to black, plays it into red close to black, and that is even better. Every time he's now visiting the table, that visit is turning into victory. He has choice to put black to corner pocket, top left to bottom left. Now black is sunk. Every time he plays, you get a feeling that what we need to do is to time yet another clearance. Another frame is won by the South African. It is now Jerry 13 and ESHCA 5. Frame number 18 to be broken by Jerry. Hits the red hard. Will he make a ball? Yes, he does. A resting position of the cue ball will be critical here. Going for the yellows is for the South African, going for a 14th. Of course, he's trying to redeem his tour of Kenya so far. It has been nothing short of failure, participating in 2 events, a singles event where he lost to the young Ugandan Jackson, and then the team event where his team Big Kills came short in the final, losing out to the Mchana Knights. He's supposed to be the biggest inspiration for the team. He's also the biggest name in Kenya right now. He was the tournament favorite. He's also the battle favorite. His choice for redemption is winning this match, which, if he does, by the way, will be the second match he will be winning on Kenyan soil and on the same day, because very early in the wee hours of this morning, he did take down Kelvin in another money match, impromptu organization, but for the same stake. Will he put the yellow? Will he bank it in? The bank is in with a little bit of luck off the red. Another piece of hard work to do by Jerry. A sharp cut of the yellow. Maybe he's going for the bank. Maybe sharp cut. Goes for the sharp cut and misses. Plays the cue ball into ESHCA's red. Now here comes the chance for ESHCA. I don't even know what ESHCA is having to go through in his mind, taking on a guy who is playing this good, shooting this good, and also being a little too lucky for some of the frames. He may want at some point in the frame to go for safety. Maybe his mind, ESHCA, is bent on going for the frame and going for it now. He needs all the composure, all the bravery of the kids that are born in Mbari. The cue ball will not be in his favor. Maybe he miscued just a little. He will want to play safety, but it shouldn't be daringly safe. Jerry is waiting to take the shot because he doesn't think the tip of his cue stick is okay. But he has nothing to do. He may have to play the rest of the match with the tip in its condition. Now here he comes again. The most tempting shot is off 3 cushions into the center pocket on the left. That shot as well moves the cue ball towards the bottom end of the table where black will seemingly be portable. Cutting the yellow sharp. Not easy. Bank to the corner pocket top right as well. One of Jerry's options. In my opinion, the idea is off 2 cushions into the center pocket. Has to be pinpoint accuracy. Also cue ball manipulated well. Off 1 cushion, cue ball intercepts the movement of the yellow, which would have been sunk. It is the cue ball that is potted anyway. Goes down as a mistake from Jerry. A chance for ESHCA to pull one back. Make it realistic that a comeback is possible. Make Zimbabwe proud. Win this frame and start what could be a quite unrealistic comeback against Jerry. For a choice of official, he plays one of the reds away from another, and now this makes the frame a little too tricky. After red being potted, no, though with not too much intent, I want to believe that for his choice of shot now, he may play the red that is close to the corner pocket bottom, but not to pot, leaving for Jerry a very tough yellow to pot. He seems to be wanting to play to pot, maybe play the cue ball into the red, maybe yellow close to red near the center pocket. He plays to have sight of the red. That is very good power balance. If he has of the red, he will want to put both red and black to the same center pocket on the right to win a 6th out of 19. There he does, and misses. He went for a risk where there was a safer shot. The risk hasn't paid off. Jerry goes for the bank, and the bank is in, and the rest is a formality. Jerry versus the black direct or off the red, goes off the red and puts it nonetheless and wins the frame and records a 14th. Jeremiah NAIDOO Ganda 14, ESHCA CHIMBWANDA, the escalator. Mzam 5 race to 21. Timeout. Jerry perhaps to fix the tip of his cue stick.
Venye wewe unakuja kwa TV unakuja home. Venye mimi nakuja Nairobi. Venye mimi nataka hii.
alafu kuna B plus, B minus, B alafu C plus, C minus, C plus, alafu D. Sasa D inamaanisha umefeli.
Atafutie mtu amefanya amesoma LTI. Japo tunaona sana. Okomie. Yeah. The guy can call. Yeah. Again. Never you interfere with Arsenal. Never you. You money guys, you just hang around. Service. You're gonna ask everyone. No, first time. Then I see, yeah.
it must be because it's home. I put 40 to cover 20 again. Yeah, last bet I didn't bet, then you win.
You are like me. Me have no chance of getting out. You're the middle. Never I bet this side. One you have. One, two, three. Never. Essa minha irmã assim de caceta sabia. Cheguei isso. Sim, de capia, olha, não sei se nana, tipo de. No local.
We are back, dear viewers. Welcome back to have seen two void breaks by ESHCA.
What? Yeah.
I think this is only the second time that I'm seeing this happen.
What? Yeah.
You will have to break the same frame again. 14 frames to 5. Jerry leads.
No, ask me not to yeah, even I told him, this one doesn't do this shit. Then you go sleep, take the class, go sleep. Twice the first time.
For those that are watching, most especially from the Facebook stream, please accept our apologies for the loss of video for about 1 minute or 1.5 or 2. What has been happening has been very, very, very special. There have been 4 frames in a row, no, 4 times in the same frame where ESHCA has been breaking dry and breaking void and putting the black ball on the break. Everybody confesses, including Jerry, that they have never seen that happen. Never, never. In international rules, it becomes a win of a frame. It's called a golden break. Finally, ESHCA gets to break. Breaking legal gets to put a ball, leaving an open table. Not even easy closing the table. Whether he will be playing yellows or reds, he's going for safety, and I think he has played safe enough, leaving the cue ball almost touching the yellow. The table remains open. You will know that once Jerry gets to put a ball of any color, he will want to go for the frame. As ESHCA gets to put a ball, as he gets to close the table, maybe Jerry just left the cue ball somewhere where a ball can be played, just not to delay the frame, such that his opponent can get to port a few balls. Then perhaps Jerry hopes that he doesn't, and then Jerry himself does take the frame away. Now, temptingly for ESHCA, port yellow to the corner pocket top left, draw the cue ball backwards with left spin, play it into the red, close to the black, play the black in space, and go once and for all, and does exactly that. Here now has to put the yellow. He has insight to the side pocket on the right. The frame is pretty finishable. Maybe the yellow that is close to the bottom of the screen is the problem ball of the three he's having on the table, and has necessarily played a little backspin, such that by rolling the yellow, the cue ball to follow the yellow almost all the way, he wants to put the last yellow to the corresponding corner pocket bottom right. This one he's playing to the bottom left, cue ball off the left cushion, and the frame is now winnable by ESHCA. Just with a chance Jerry gave him to pot a ball, he did close the table and is going for the clearance that could give him a sixth, especially right after timing. He's again played with a little too much power. His intention was perhaps to play the black to the corner pocket top left. He can still win the frame. Maybe it was even his intention at the end of the day, playing black into the side pocket and putting it. That was a reminder to Jerry that while he's leading big, he's playing as well against a very good player in his own right. ESHCA 6 and Jerry 14 after 20 frames of play, race to 21. We are back, dear viewers. Channel Pub and Grill alongside Ngong Road in Nairobi, opposite Prestige Plaza. Our location, a match between ESHCA and Jerry, the players, South Africa and Zimbabwe. The count is 3,000 the pot and 21 the race. Break of frame number 21 by Jerry is dry. As ESHCA gets to close the table, the Zim is playing reds. The kid from Bari in Harare against the kid from Durban in KwaZulu Natal. Here comes the guy that won 6 of 8 National Elite Players Association of Zimbabwe Association events in the year that was 2024. With 2025 having the crowning moment of himself as officially Zimbabwe's finest, at the time that he beat very decisively competition from other players like Malvan Mokwanza, like Blessing Muzaruri, among others, but most especially those two, with all the due respect to others of Zimbabwe's finest shooters like Sakala, amongst others. But Jerry does not want to know about any of those records. Every time he gets to visit the table, he has one thing in mind: finish what will be the ongoing frame. He now wants to put the remaining yellows on the table to the corresponding center pockets, left and right, and the black to another of the center pockets, perhaps the same where he puts the previous yellow, and wins the frame and records another. He now needs to win 6, while his opponent will need to win 15 out of the remaining 20. Jeremiah NAIDOO 15 and ESHCA CHIMBWANDA 6. Here comes ESHCA. This time round gets to scratch on the break. When that happens, there is no prize for guessing what is about to happen. And I want to believe that for each choice of a free shot, Jerry will declare his intention by playing the black in space. The cue ball played into the black and plays the black in space as though he's listening to the commentator. The pride of Durban going for yet another red apple right in Nairobi. He's now deciding to play reds, most especially after not a convincing position of the yellows after the free shot was taken. Putting yet another red, has to bounce the cue ball off the right cushion a little. He has sight of the red that is leftwards of the two. Playing it with the backspin, the cue ball naturally moves leftwards, a little leftwards, with 5 reds now on the table. Can play either of 2, either to put to the corner pocket top left or the side pocket on the right. But he's nominating for the corner pocket top left. He has to bounce the cue ball off 2 cushions, that is the top cushion and the left cushion, to move the cue ball just around the middle of the table. The movement of the white is intercepted by the black to bring Jerry under some kind of trouble here. These ones he puts with power. The red that is in between the 3 on the left, which he wants to put diagonal to the corner pocket bottom left, and puts with power. Moves the cue ball rightwards. Frame finishable. Lead extendable. But has to be special here. Cue ball off the left cushion. With a miss on the ball, he's potting with a little stroke of luck and not just a stroke of genius. Now, even in more trouble, with nowhere to hide, he wants to contemplate playing a red off yellow, put red to the corner pocket at the bottom. He almost got it in. This time round, almost will not be good enough. ESHCA has the whole yellows frame to himself. And if he cannot finish this one, it is just my opinion that he will have no business trying to win this match, most especially with his opponent having such a healthy lead. The word on the street is that the player who next wants to have this action against ESHCA is a certain player from Gauteng called Aiden. As for that one, if that match is to happen, of course, ESHCA's home ground will be the Escalators Pool Arena in Harare. Aiden, of course, will be hosting in Johannesburg, in Kampala as well, and any African player that may want to have action against ESHCA, you are open for business. And finally, after Jerry missed the last it wasn't common practice in the previous frame when Jerry failed on a clearance. The only way he responds is to right his wrongs in the very next frame. Responded to by a 16th being won by Jerry. But he'll be having the problem of the black so close to the jaw, over the pocket, the center right. Now his movement of the cue ball will be in question a little here. Maybe have a sharp cut of the red right against the rail. Play the cue ball into black. Into black. Not really. I'm not so certain black is portable. Instead, it could be the white. He may go for the red drive, may go for the sharp cut. He goes for the sharp cut and sinks the black and wins the frame. And the South African extends his lead. Jerry now on 16 and ESHCA on 7. Hasn't been exactly a very good long racer. ESHCA sometimes has been keeping himself away from long races actually. He almost brought Kampala to its knees 1.5 years ago at the lounge when he led, I think, by 16 frames to 10 against Caesar Racing to 21, but Caesar won the match, I think, 21 frames to 17 or something. He made himself a little bit unplayable in the last session of the match. ESHCA as well at his Escalating arena. Late last year lost against the Ugandan, that is Joseph Kasozi. But he has won a money match against Malvan Mkoza and has got 2 money match victories, racing to 21 against the Zambian, that is Kelvin. But then every time that ESHCA seems to have control of the frame, Jerry does something to grab the control away. And this is the something Jerry is doing. I'm not so certain he has sight of the red, which is portable to the center pocket on the left. He may go for red to the center pocket on the right of ESHCA's yellow. It will be pinpoint accuracy, the cut of the red into the yellow. He goes for red by red drive to the corner pocket and misses. And here comes ESHCA. Of course, frames like this will be very critical for him. When Jerry goes for a clearance and misses it out, these ones ESHCA should not let Jerry back on the table. But again, he lets him in. Although the cue ball is not exactly what will be making Jerry happy, he can't put in a direct shot either of the two reds. It will have to be something magical. Maybe the red is looking at off the bottom cushion into the yellow near the center pocket on the right to go off the yellow into the center pocket. Maybe look at the yellow that is near the bottom cushion. He can play red off cushion and off yellow to try and put yellow into that same corner pocket bottom right. Whatever he's thinking, all that will help is make a ball. Look at how he's calculating the angle. Play red off the bottom cushion into the yellow at the center pocket on the right to put red off the yellow. He went so close, but not close enough. Clearly, a frame that should be won by the Zim. And this match is so special that it's being given the latitude to be the only match that is being played today. What is not so special is how ESHCA has been playing for some of the match. Another tempting shot for Jerry to play red off the cushion at the top to try and again play that same red into the same yellow near the side pocket on the right to put red off yellow. It is so tricky maintaining cue ball for the last red, even though he were to put the red off the yellow, which is what he's trying to do. He goes for the connection. Again, misses out. Again, another chance to ESHCA. again to win the same frame. Perfect connectivity by ESHCA. The little bit of a problem may be the position of the black, only if his pattern doesn't really come through. Otherwise, he has no business not winning this frame in his current visit of the table. He wants to put yellow at the bottom cushion right, bounce the cable off the bottom cushion, move it a little upwards where the other two yellows are. He may have to bounce the cable off two cushions. He plays just perfect backspin and will play a shot with the same exact skill and the same exact quality. Again, play backspin, try and put both yellow and black to the same corner pocket bottom right. Again, perfect. The rail drive of the black raised against the cushion to the corner pocket at the bottom right will give the Zimbabwean an 8th frame. He will have one within the match. ESHCA 8, Jerry 16, raised to 21 for 3,000 US dollars. As umpire Dingdoro racks frame number 24. There have been a few balls spotted by Jerry, both a yellow and a red, leaving an open table in which the South African will want to win the frame with yet another upper to respond to what ESHCA did previous frame. Every time ESHCA wins the frame, Jerry wins the very next. The match has now been happening for just approximately 2 hours exactly. And you factor in about 10 minutes of timeout, it has been happening for a little less than that. Like I said before, maybe the 1 hour, the 2 hours and 45 minutes I assumed it will be played for, maybe a little too much time, most especially when one of the players involved in the match is the fastest potter that Africa has to date. Jerry will be putting the penultimate yellow to the corner pocket top left, bounce the cable off the left cushion, move it a little rightwards, where he will be having full sight of the last yellow, which he will want to play by roll, then play the cue ball into black or the red close to the black to create space for the black, plays it into the red, get himself look at, but doesn't even pot. That one will go down as yet another chance for ESHCA CHIMBWANDA. Forget the fact that the scoreboard is not yet flipped. The scores for ESHCA are 8 and plays one of the beautiful shots he has played in this match with a nice right spin on the cue ball with backspin, playing it off the cushion just into the red, just in time for him to open up the frame and go for the clearance. That will be him, ESHCA, winning 2 frames in succession for what is only the second time in the match. The red he's playing, putting to the corner pocket top right, will almost certainly guarantee him victory of frame number 25. Spin back and moves rightwards, and the rest is a formality. The Zim is down, but not yet out. ESHCA versus the black. Recorded by Jerry. It is now 17 frames to 9. It is the South African in the lead, and yet he gets to break again, gets to put a ball again with the cue ball firmly on the bed of the pool table, with the intention of equaling his performance last time out that he faced off against ESHCA, when he was only able to conceive 9 frames. If ESHCA wins one more, at least he will be bettering his performance in the first match. But no way it will be him winning the match unless something serious happens to Jerry's pattern, like missing balls with that ease, and the chance comes to ESHCA to try and take the victory away. $17 frames to 9. Jeremiah NAIDOO leading against ESHCA CHIMBWANDA, racing to 21 for victory that will come with $3,000 here at Mchana Pub and Grill in Nairobi. With Jerry having won the previous frame with an apple, he comes short of recording a green one in the very next frame, and ESHCA will want to respond by taking the frame away. Now needing to put the last red on the table to the corner pocket top left. It has to be perfect cushion drive for the red to move right against the rail. If played perfectly, it will go in. The cue ball for the black will be pretty natural for black to the center pocket on the left, and the rest is a formality. ESHCA versus the black to go into double figures for the first time in the match. Oh yes, for the neutrals, double figures are in order. CHIMBWANDA ESHCA 10, Jeremiah NAIDOO 17. The Zimbabwean escalator will be in trouble here. One of those times when you can no longer afford to miss, and yet before I could even miss complete the statement, ESHCA does gets to miss a ball again. Africa's potting machine comes to the table to take down yet another frame. And maybe just without consideration of the rest to 9 in the tournament that he lost against Jackson Asiku for the 2 just concluded months, Jerry was a little too much. I remember him winning a comp at Hot Shots in Tongat near Durban City that had players from about 5 countries, all from the SADC region. He defeated Kelvin in the final. He also won a 4-man comp just about 2 weeks later. He won 2 money matches against Aiden just about 3 weeks later. He won a money match against ESHCA another week later. And now, 13 days later, he could be on the verge of taking down ESHCA yet again, having now to put yellow to the center pocket, right, black to the center pocket, left, with the perfect play of the cue ball right into ESHCA's reds to support the stopping of the white as he puts black with perfection, with precision, with composure to extend the lead. Now needing to win just 3 to become 3,000 US dollars richer. It is Jeremiah NAIDOO, Ganda, the South African bulldozer 18, and ESHCA CHIMBWANDA, the Zimbabwean escalator 10, rest to 21. The giant South African sometimes just seems to be playing a little against himself. Once again, dear viewers, all of you that are now over 2,000 watching combined on the streaming platforms that are live, thank you very much, Africa. How nice the sport is uniting the continent, and how many countries are being represented in this match. First of all, ESHCA is Zimbabwean, but we are playing in Kenya. Jeremiah NAIDOO has Indian blood, but born in South Africa and managed by Nigeria. The streamers are Kenyan, commentator Ugandan. 6 countries, unity in the sport. After that miss, how good can ESHCA play? Of course, to finish the frame with just 1 visit of the table. It's just that sometimes Jerry can be very, very, very bullish. It does not take away the fact that ESHCA is a very good player himself, and his results speak for themselves, most especially the Timbuktu International Tournament victory that happened in Eldoret in Western Kenya, that had 220 of Africa's best players united in competition, competing for 11,600 US dollars. That match on the day belonged to ESHCA. But now what he wants is 3,000. To get it, he must win 11 before Jerry wins 3 out of the remaining 12. For ESHCA to win 11, this one should be first of them all. He gets to miss, but that is a technical snooker. Jerry can only play reds off the left cushion. Highly likely he will find them. Maybe snooker ESHCA himself off the cushion into red, but power just a little extra, and the cue ball is in place where he can put one of the yellows to the corner pocket. It supports cue ball so close to the remaining yellow. I'm not so certain there is space between white and yellow. Maybe it is touching. The players will have to communicate between each other, between themselves. Sorry. Jerry will want to inspect and be part of the decision. The discussion between the players is that white is not touching yellow, so ESHCA may have to play into the yellow direct, or can as well play off cushion, but there has to be contact between. Oh, sorry, it is touching. Now I realize he wants to play snooker. It is not a perfect snooker. Jerry has sight of part of the red. I want to think he may want to play red off the right cushion. Playing direct is not easy for him. Frame number 28, dear viewers. From wherever you're watching, dear viewers, it is a professional bout between two players and organized money match between Zimbabwe's ESHCA CHIMBWANDA donning all red and South Africa's Jeremiah NAIDOO donning the light green of Big Kel's his management team. As for ESHCA, he's managed by Nevson Select, one of the best managed players he is on the African continent. Well facilitated, well financed, with the management that can just take the risk of loss by inviting any player that has an African passport both to Harare. As long as the player does accept, they will as well be visited to a venue of their choice. First player to heed to the call of ESHCA was this guy Jeremiah NAIDOO, who won the first match in Harare by 21 frames to 9. This time round, there is a pending likelihood that Jerry could win again, but with ESHCA already having outplayed himself, especially giving the score of the first match, the Zimbabwean will want to put the last red on the table in frame number 30 to the center pocket on the left, and then black to the corner pocket bottom right. Maybe he's opting to take the black into that corner pocket bottom left, and if it is in, the Zim will have a dozen of frames won, and yes, that is the case. And the last 30 minutes at least have seen ESHCA play at pretty much the level that we know ESHCA plays. It's just that the lead of Jerry has always been a little too big. Nonetheless, ESHCA CHIMBWANDA 12 and Jeremiah NAIDOO 18. Here we are, viewers, with Jerry going for a 19th, which if he does, will need to win 2 out of the remaining 10 to take home the $3,000 US. The red is looking at if it can pass, maybe the frame will be as good as gone. And yes, it passes with 3 reds left on the table now. 2 of them portable by connection, one into another, but cue ball to be played with a little backspin, bouncing it off the cushion, placing it somewhere perfect enough to believe that both reds will now be potted in the same visit of the table, just as is the black. Will draw the cue ball backwards into the yellow. It avoids the yellow, but it is even better. Has to play the cue ball now off the cushion to move it all the way upwards, but to avoid any contact with any of ESHCA's yellow. The black, with this kind of position, even Francis Mkoko can pot. Jeremiah NAIDOO 19 and ESHCA CHIMBWANDA 12. Jerry needing to win 2, ESHCA needing to win 9 out of the remaining 10. Of course, it is highly unlikely. I just give it to ESHCA. I just give it to Nevson. Parading a match like this for Africa to enjoy. Of course, for ESHCA, it is an invaluable experience, even in defeat that is pending, even in the loss of money. a loss in pool is a lesson. Frame number 31, broken by ESHCA. It is the 5th time in the match that is potting black on the break.
It broke like that.
Now this ongoing frame is a test of what Jerry can do on the technical side of play, as there is a pile up of reds and yellows all so close to each other, most especially at the top right end of the table. This kind of game, you get a feeling, has ESHCA as some kind of favorite for victory of the ongoing frame. Maybe it is one of what he needs to try and win a series of consecutive frames. Even his collection of skills has not been sufficient this time around. In playing a master shot, he was able to curve the cue ball round the yellow, one round the red, but he did not find the yellow. As for Jerry, his intention for a free shot was to play the cue ball into the pile of balls with power, create an opening between the yellows and the reds, which he now has, and could very easily be going for the frame. But it was likely only if he had potted in his previous shot, which has been a miss anyway. And what can ESHCA do to respond here? Of course, with a dead yellow, the one closest to the cue ball, is choosing not to play it, at least for now. He may want to play yellow off red. There's as well a choice of playing the yellow close to white. That's a little too risky, shouldn't he pot? With the difficulty he has to pot, he will almost certainly be losing the frame in what will be Jerry's next visit of the table. He will want to play the two yellows so close to each other, try to put one to the corner pocket top right, which he does. No, he did not put. Maybe he's losing the frame and he's losing it now. These ones, Jerry normally goes for attack, and he does so fast and so effortless. Almost certainly every move like this of his ends in potting the black. Just cue ball manipulation, just simple pots. With a number of reds in the table now on 4. He will put one to the side pocket on the right first. The cue ball a little off cushion into the black. Unfortunately, Jerry plays the black so close to the corner pocket top right where ESHCA has his yellows. For a chance of recovery, he may as well play the cue ball into the black, who has to play the cue ball into the black or the yellow that is occupying the corner pocket at the top right, to create space for him to put the black and win the frame and come within one of the victory. Cue ball to the loss of $3,000. Jeremiah NAIDOO 20, ESHCA CHIMBWANDA 12. We have gotten a dry break by Jerry, with the South African needing to win one frame out of 9 to record a second home, with him having Indian blood, South African descent, Durban born. Supposed to have been playing his home games in Durban, but professionalism demanded him to play home, far away from home, in Nairobi. Leading by 21 frames to 12 in a match that is highly likely to become a South African victory. If ESHCA can win this match, that will be one of the surprises of African pool for a whole decade, for a player of Jerry's level to lose 9 frames in a row in a match this big, with a pot this big, with $3,000 at stake. And after the defense by ESHCA, Jerry gets to portable, which could put him on the verge clearance. That will be a $3,000 clearance. Now having 5 yellows on the table, one of them now portable to the side pocket on the right with a little backspin on the cue ball, in a position where he can put either of 2 reds he has in sight, especially the 2 that are in space. Potting one, drawing the cue ball off 2 cushions and backwards, and beautifully pinpoint accuracy, not just the pot but also the manipulation of the cue ball, but misses the very next shot and grants chance for ESHCA back in the frame. And here comes now Mr. Harare with nowhere to hide, with every chance being given to him having to be utilized to perfection, with every miss of a ball by Jerry, ESHCA having to punish, with every break ESHCA has having to pot, with every aim of the shot ESHCA having to make a ball. A miss of a ball, a loss of a frame, almost certainly loses him $3,000 for the very second time in just 13 days. He may play himself out of the cue ball here. It was bigly played off 2 cushions with big left spin, but a little misguided is the cue ball in its movement. He may want to play safety here. How safe will he be? Not safe enough. If Africa's potting machine can sink 1 here, we may have to make a countdown for the victory. Jerry versus the red to the corner pockets diagonally. It is in. Cue ball played round another red. He may have now the position of a black for any reason to have a worry about the victory of the frame. The penultimate red is potted now to the corner pocket top right. Now has sight of the last red, with the cue ball having been played with a little too much power than he would have wanted, but still can recover by making a pot, by moving the cue ball close to the black. It has to be bounced off maybe 2, maybe 3 cushions. Maybe he may want the cue ball just around the area at the corner pocket bottom left where he's having his hands. That's what he's having his mind. Cue ball off 3 cushions, played into the yellow. That's not what Jerry wanted. I'm not so certain black is possible. It has to be something if he's to win the frame. If he is to win it now, he will aim, he will think, he will contemplate before executing. He may go off the cushion, he may be black. My goodness, that is the most surprising way to win a frame and win a match. Africa's potting machine delivers yet again. How much power was applied on that shot? Of course, we shall be having an interview with Jerry. Congratulations, Jerry. In Harare, you beat him by 21 frames to 9. This time he performed a little bit better. What do you think is the difference between the performance today?
Well, not very much. ESHCA didn't play well, to be honest. Even myself, I didn't feel I played well, but I managed to get over the line. Yeah, a lot of mistakes.
A few errors from yourself, but some of your clearances were out of this world.
Yeah, I had to make those shots to cover up for the mistakes. But I guess it's because of me playing with this half tip, as you can see.
Oh, now I can see.
So
Broken tip.
There was a lot of mistakes, but I'm going to fix this and hopefully be on my best game for Caesar on Saturday.
Now, talking about Caesar, he's likely to come here on Friday. and then play on Saturday. What can fans of the game around the continent expect in that one? Most especially that you beat him the last time you guys faced off in Japan.
Well, hopefully I'm gonna take off from where I left it and bring my A game. And yeah, if my breaks work and the main thing is the breaks. If my breaks work, I feel the end result will be the same. I'll win again.
Now the third guy in the trilogy, Eden. Don't you think he belongs to Kenya right now?
True, I don't know why he's not here. Because I'm ready for him. I'm ready for.
Is it because you beat him last time round? Just talk to him to come to Kenya.
Well, it's up to him. If he wants to come, I'm here. I'm ready. Anyone can come. I'm here. I'm ready.
For now, congratulations.
Thank you.
I have your money. It is 1,500. I am keeping the other money as stake for the next game. Welcome. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one tomorrow.